Welcome back to the Green Machine, the Nature Aquarium Specialists. In this video you'll see the step-by-step creation of a planted aquarium by James Findley, which is entitled Sticks and Stones. Here you can see the grown-in tank. It's an ADA Cube Garden 60p mist type, which is 60 by 30 by 36 centimeters and features a frosted back panel to match the glass mist stand on which it sits. This is an extremely popular sized aquarium for the home hobbyist and a great canvas for a nature aquarium. We'll show you how the substrate and hardscape was done, followed by the planting, and then how the filter and CO2 system was set up. Finally, you'll see lots more footage of the grown-in aquarium from various angles. We will talk you through each stage so that you understand what is happening as we go along. The first step is to add substrate additives to the bottom of the aquarium. These white powders are ADA Penac P, which can help plant root growth, and ADA Penac W, which prevents substrates from becoming anaerobic. Next, James pours in ADA Power Sand Special S. This is an organic nutrient-rich substrate base layer with a large surface area. It encourages beneficial bacteria colonies which help with the filtration of the tank. Power Sand contains ADA Bacter 100 and Clear Super, which promote the growth of beneficial bacteria. James uses a sand flattener to move the power sand into position. More Clear Super is added, which is a black powder. Here you can see a reddish coloured powder. This is ADA Bacter 100. Now ADA Tourmaline BC is added, which contains fine bamboo charcoal organic pollutant absorbents and tourmaline, again helping to improve the substrate environment for plants. Now James pours in ADA Aquasoil powder type. This is a complete substrate and technically may be used on its own, without the other substrate layers that have been added. However, because James wants the best possible start for his planted tank, he has used a full ADA substrate system. This also helps ensure that the life of the aquarium is maximised. You can see how James is banking the substrate up at the back right hand corner. Now that the substrate is complete, James moves on to the hardscape materials. He only uses natural hardscape in his aquariums, and here at the Green Machine it is all that we stock. We have the largest range of natural hardscapes materials available today, all tested for and perfectly suited to planted aquariums. The wood being used here is ADA hornwood, a dense and heavy dark coloured root wood with beautiful shapes, details and texture. Due to its weight, it will sink in water, and so does not need pre-soaking or weighing down. Now that the sticks have been placed, some stones are added. These are TGM river pebbles, which are available in a range of small sizes and various colours. James places the largest first, followed by some smaller pebbles, which will eventually mostly be covered by plants. He constantly checks his layout, making any tweaks as he feels are needed. Now that the hardscape has been finished, James begins to add TGM substrate supports. This method allows for substrate to be banked up at one or more points of the tank to effectively enlarge the surface area of the base of the layout and create perspective. They are cut to size and inserted into the substrate in various places to prevent it from rolling down to the front of the aquarium. In this video, we'll show you the placement of every single substrate support that is added, so that you can see how important these are. The technique was developed by James to enable him to create layouts that were previously impossible. Each support is cut to size for its specific location. Often you will need to test the support in a location. Then, if it doesn't fit properly, remove it, make adjustments to its size by cutting it, and then reinsert it. The aquarium stand is an ADA Cube Garden mist, which is made of the same low iron, high clarity glass as the Cube Garden aquarium, and likewise features a sandblasted rear panel to softly diffuse the light coming from the back. ADA Cube cabinets are also available with a clear back panel. Its minimal design perfectly matches the Cube Garden and Aquasky light. The design is a triangular layout, banked up in one corner. Triangular layouts often work well when placing the aquarium in the corner of a room, where it feels like the plants are naturally creeping in towards your living space. The aquarium will not be located in the corner of a room. Instead, it is intended for display in the Green Machine's aquascaping gallery and shop, and so will be located against a flat wall. Triangular layouts can also work well in locations like this. Despite the apparent simplicity of a triangular arrangement, careful consideration is needed. The first thing to consider is the negative, or open space. With this layout, the golden ratio, or rule of 2/3, are often used, with plants making up approximately 2/3 of the space, and the final third being left as a negative space. A further tip is to utilise triangles throughout the creation of the layout to highlight the composition and dimensions. For example, wood or stones are often used to counterbalance the triangular planting of this design by pointing them in an opposite direction, often up into the top far corner in the open area. The other traditional aquascaping layouts are the U-shaped layout and the island layout. There is also a linear layout which was first used by James. You can read about these different layout styles on our website at www.thegreenmachineonline.com. Aquascapes, like all art forms, have a plethora of rules of guidance and application. These rules exist to guide us towards success, and often will do. But remember, rules exist only to guide, and a skilled artist can actually enhance their work by bending or breaking the accepted rules, if done so in the right artistic manner. Aquatic artistry is no different. One tool used by artists throughout history is known as the golden ratio. This is a ratio found in many places in nature, which humans find satisfying or beautiful. Due to this effect, we often subconsciously produce art using this ratio. We can also consciously use it to help guide our placement of hardscape and plants within an aquarium. Here James has placed a large piece of wood using the rule of 2/3, which is close to the golden ratio. For more information on composition guides, browse the articles and videos on our website. Now the planting begins. You can see that the wood has been removed to have moss tied to it, and then replaced into the aquarium. This moss is Versicularia dubiana, or Christmas moss. James adds some Ricardia comedrifolia to the top of the largest piece of wood by wedging it into the gaps using pincets. The Christmas moss is so called because of its side branch structure, which looks like a fir tree. Now he does some final tweaks of the hardscape and neatens up the substrate. After the TGM substrate supports have been added, they may still be visible sticking out of the substrate slightly, so more aqua soil is poured on top to cover them. Now the aquarium is part filled with water. Before water is added, it can be beneficial to wet the substrate with a spray, as this will hold it in place slightly as more water is added. Sometimes, when water is added, the substrate can shift and some pieces will float to the surface, so this technique helps to prevent this. Always fill your aquarium very slowly. If the flow is too strong, it may disrupt your carefully placed layout. James adds Hygrophila corymbosa compact using aquascape pin sets. Now, Micranthemum Monte Carlo is added. It's been separated into small planting plugs. These are placed into the substrate with even spaces, which will disappear as the plants grow and cover the base of the aquarium like a thick green carpet of tiny leaves. It's advisable to plant as densely as you can afford in order to achieve the best and fastest start to your aquarium. The next plant is Echinodorus tenalis, which James plants across the back, adding height to the background. This looks like large blades of grass. James sometimes uses Echinodorus tenalis as a foreground carpeting plant in larger aquariums, but due to the smaller scale of this 60p cube garden, he is using it in the background. Now, Limnophila sessiflora is added in the back corner, because it's tall and will provide a delicate screen of green rising up behind the main piece of wood. This will grow into a dense bush-like area, providing colour and contributing to the composition of the grown in aquascape. Next, Rotala Wallacei is added to the back middle. This is a lovely plant which, under good lighting, develops red shoot tips, resulting in a gradient effect from green at the bottom to pinky red at the top. The aquarium has now been filled with water, and James starts to trim the Limnophila using aquascaping scissors. A wet and dry vacuum is used to remove debris from the surface, but for a tank this size, a simple net is just as effective for this task. James trims the Rotala and the Echinodorus to accentuate the triangular shapes and to encourage new plant growth. For this task, he uses curved aquascaping scissors, which make it easier to cut at the desired angles. He adds some more hygrophila in various other locations around the hardscape, giving a more natural and wild look to the layout. Now he adds Hygrophila pinnatifida up tight against the main piece of wood. This completes the planting stage. Now we'll show you how the ADA Superjet filter ES600 is set up. ADA Superjet filters are masterpieces of aesthetic and functional design. With their stainless steel body, they look so good that they can be displayed alongside your aquarium, instead of needing to be hidden inside a cabinet like other filters. The first step is to add ADA BioRio as the bottom layer within the filter. This is a pumice stone with a porous surface, providing a large surface area for beneficial bacteria to live on. This bacteria filters the water by breaking down the dead plant and animal matter into less harmful substances that may be consumed by the plants. Next, we add Chem Purigen, which improves water clarity whilst filtering the water, making it better for plants and fish. Next, some ADA Tourmaline F is added. Then, a layer of filter wool, which serves as a physical barrier. Now, the Superjet metal spacer is added so that the flow is not reduced at the top of the filter. Then the rubber seal is put in place before the pump is added to the top and clamped shut. The filter is now moved into position under the stand. Filter pipe has been connected to the inlet and outlet of the filter. The glass inlet and outlets, which are supplied with a Superjet filter, have been positioned on the side of the aquarium with the suckers provided. The filter pipe is cut to the correct length and then very carefully attached to the glass inlet and outlet. Now it's time to set up the CO2 injection system. A length of pressure-resistant tubing, approximately 30 cm, is cut and used to join the CO2 regulator and the EL valve, otherwise known as a solenoid valve. The regulator is attached to the CO2 bottle and controls the rate of CO2 flow. The solenoid is a mechanical on-off switch for the CO2, which is controlled via a timer. We usually have the CO2 coming on 2 hours before the lights go on and off 2 hours before the lights out. Pressure-resistant tubing is used because it doesn't allow any CO2 to escape, unlike silicone tubing, which allows CO2 to slowly escape through its wall. Some silicone tubing is used to connect the solenoid to a non-return valve. Here you can see a small arrow showing the direction of CO2 flow, so you know which way round to connect it. The reason silicone tubing is used at this stage is because glassware is very fragile and may break easily if trying to fit pressure-resistant tubing. The amount of CO2 that escapes is only small. Suckers are used to stick the tubes to the glass aquarium. Next, a drop checker is added. This is a visual indicator of the CO2 levels in the aquarium. At this point, the regulator is adjusted until there is a slower flow of CO2, approximately 2 bubbles per second in this case. The last stretch of silicone tubing goes from the drop checker into the aquarium and connects to the CO2 diffuser. The diffuser is responsible for increasing the surface area of the CO2 by making it into many smaller bubbles, so that it may be absorbed into the water faster and before it reaches the surface. Here you can see how the bubbles of CO2 slowly move along the tubing through each device until they gather in the diffuser. When the pressure here is great enough, the CO2 begins to diffuse through the ceramic plate. The aquascape can now be seen with the filtration and CO2. Ten months later, we refilmed the aquascape. It has matured nicely during this time. The Rotala Velici has grown thick and bushy and has a delicate pink hue because of good lighting. White cloud mountain minnows feature as the main fish choice. There are also some otocinclus, which are good algae eaters. The moss has grown to cover large areas of the wood, giving an aged feel to the layout. There is a lush carpet of micranthemum across the base of the aquarium. Some of the foreground stones have been removed for aesthetic reasons and to allow more space for the green carpet. Here you can see the aquarium from all sides as the camera moves up and around it. Amano shrimp mingle with tiger shrimp, forever cleaning up. The light James chose to use with this layout is the ADA Aquasky 602, which is an LED lighting system developed specifically for planted aquariums. Prior to the Aquasky range being developed, James was never truly happy with the results achieved with LED lighting. This is the first range of LEDs which truly satisfy his aquascaping needs. The results are plain to see here in the lush and dense plant growth. The Aquasky range features a beautiful minimal design, perfectly suited to the nature aquarium. For more details you can find the full range of Aquasky lights on our website. We removed the glassware for filming some of the shots in order to accentuate the natural beauty of the layout and plants. You may notice that the filter inlet and outlet and CO2 diffuser have switched sides. This was for no reason in particular other than we felt it suited the flow of the layout better. Here you can see the CO2 being diffused into the water. The overall result is quite stunning, a beautiful slice of nature. We hope you've enjoyed this video. You can access much more information including videos, articles and photos on our website at www.thegreenmachineonline.com.